Hi everybody, welcome to our Google Hangout. We apologize for being late, but hey, TIA. What does TIA stand for? This is Africa.
Yes,
We've
it
never got
is.
to get used to it. It's a little bit like one of those like, oh, it's island time, which is actually a really nice energy to be in. It's like when you're in South Africa and it's like, things get done, but they get done TIA. So we just had a few glitches and a few hiccups with Samantha and Graham coming on. But the whole idea of this Google Hangout was to have Graham and Samantha on here so that they could give you a bit of feedback and some few hints, etc., for coming to South Africa. We've also got Katie Mack on here as well, who is a travel agent. So she can make your life even easier. You just have to tell her what you desire to do, and then she can book it all for you. So the idea is we want to make this really easy for you. So welcome, Graham, Samantha, and Katie.
Hello.
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 And we have Samantha as a little still pick here. So where do we want to start? So the couple of things. The resort that we're going to is called Legends Resort. Now, Jonas and myself are actually going to do another thing like this, just a 15-minute Google Hangout on Sunday night, Queensland time, to show you some photos and our enthusiasm because, oh my goodness, I absolutely fell in love with South Africa. It's like I've been all over the world and I hadn't been to South Africa until we went to check out the resort. Yes, we took one for the team, made sure that it was all okay for you. We tasted the food, slept in the beds, discussed everything that was required. So the next Google Hangout, we're going to sort of concentrate more on the actual resort and what you can do there, the activities, etc. But this is about you getting to South Africa. So there's a couple of questions I wanted to start off with too. And I'm going to call the locals in here, Samantha and Graham, to help us out with this, because there's a whole lot of you. Okay, so the first thing is you fly to Johannesburg to get to the resort. From Johannesburg, it's about 2.5 hours drive. TIA, our shuttle was about 30 minutes late. You just have to go with the breeze. But we were staying at this wonderful hotel, and they were so incredibly nice and friendly and giving us Cokes, etc. So the TIA makes up for the absolute friendliness that South Africans function from. So, and I don't mean to, I just want to warn you, that's all. So, but when you arrive in Johannesburg, Samantha or Graham, do you guys want to talk a little bit about, well, actually you're from Joburg, aren't you, Samantha?
Yes.
And Graham's from Durban. They both came up and flew up and met us in Joburg, and we went out to a fabulous restaurant and had an amazing steak for ridiculously cheap price. It's a great Pinotage wine, which we can talk about later. But when you arrive in Joburg, what's some of the local tips and advice that you can give people?
Well, I would say the first thing is to, if you want to travel somewhere from the airport, to not just hire, just wait for a taxi. Rather have one ready available as you arrive. So book a car before you arrive at the airport. I think
so.
Graham
Now we're going to give
agree
you a
with
whole
that.
lot of cars that you can book,
Yeah.
or if you choose to actually book your travel with Katie, she can arrange for that for you, so that when you arrive, there's someone with a sign, etc. Now that is, I really want to stress that because every person in Joburg said to me, "Don't arrive in Joburg and walk out and get a taxi. It's probably one of the unsafest things that you can do." Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm an Aussie here telling about South Africa. So feel free to call me up here, but.
No,
It's sort of like, don't be an idiot, do what the locals say. I mean, one of the things that we were talking about is the animals in South Africa are wild. Yes, wild. And we were like, oh, we can so see people from Access coming along going, no, the zebras want me to touch them and find them. And it's like, no, they're wild animals. So, but we'll talk more about that with Jonas as well. So the safaris are awesome. So what else? Oh, we're, just for a hint, like Brendan and myself from Australia arrive at 4:30 in the afternoon into Johannesburg. So we will not travel to the resort that afternoon because it sort of gets to that time where it's a bit late. So we'll actually stay in a hotel in Johannesburg that night and then travel the next day. So can you talk a little bit about like the traveling hours you think that people, when they shouldn't sort of travel, etc.?
I would say if you're traveling to Legends, the best time would be to travel either in the morning. I wouldn't suggest late afternoon because it's not a normal traveled road from Joburg to Legends. So if you could aim to get there by 4 o'clock to Legends, so if you gauge your timing, giving you 3 hours before that, to leave Johannesburg itself, that would be, I would suggest that. And then it's also fun. Then you get to see a little bit of the environment and the scenery before on your travel. Otherwise, it's all dark, and to get a shuttle wouldn't be fun in the dark.
I will say the drive. Don't expect this beautiful, outback South Africa drive. You do spend a lot of time getting out of the city, and going through some other smaller cities. Jonas and I got a shuttle there, but the last part, just before you get to Legends, is absolutely beautiful. And when you spot your first animal, it's like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in South Africa, out in the wild. It's pretty amazing. Graham, did you have something to add?
What I'd also when you guys just land, what I would recommend is just don't let anything out of your sight. Particularly don't walk around with your bags open and stuff like that. Don't hand your bags to anybody. There will be people that will try and carry your bags for you and stuff. Rather just do it yourself until you get to your shuttle and let them sort that out for you.
Cool. So we're not trying to scare you. We're just trying to give you some tips for when you arrive. I mean, you arrive in South Africa, and you actually have to go through this screen. You get checked for Ebola, which is pretty funny. You're like, wow. So they're like, yep, you're good to go. And you're like, oh, excellent, good to go. So, but it's a pretty amazing country. And South Africa, for you guys who don't know, it's referred to as the motherland. Because what history tells us is that in South Africa, it was the first place that humanoids were actually born. So it goes way back, and there's a famous thing that Nelson Mandela used to say when you arrived in South Africa. He was like, welcome home. And I can tell you, when you're at Legends Resort and you're standing on top, they have this thing called the Extreme 19th. It's a golf hole. Even if you don't play golf, I can guarantee you're going to want to play the Extreme 19. And you're standing at the top overlooking the whole of the resort, and you can see South Africa beyond. And it's like chills, because it's like that's where you feel like it's like welcome home. It's like the land does something to you. It's quite amazing. And there's been a lot of history about South Africa, with apartheid, etc., like that. So they're still getting through some hiccups, as Australia is, as the US is, as so many countries are. So it's just being aware of those hiccups, and it's like, and what can you be, and what energy, space, and consciousness can you be to create, the ease, joy, and glory. It's like, don't be an idiot. So we've got, make sure you get a shuttle, make sure you get a private car. If you're arriving after a time of, I would say, 1:30, 2 o'clock, recommend stay in Johannesburg. Now, we have a whole lot of recommendations for hotels. Katie Mack can help you out as well. And with the cars, the shuttles, Samantha put together a wonderful website, which you can go and find out all of the different ways that you can actually get to the resort as well. You can charter a plane, you can hire a car, you can get a shuttle. I wouldn't walk, it's quite far with your bags. But we're probably going to charter a plane, because, I mean, and we'll show you some pictures of that when I do the one with Jonas, because we had so much fun on a chartered plane, and that is an amazing view as you're, flying into Joburg, etc., etc. And I think you see Soweto. So, so what other hints do you have about Joburg? And then I'll go into some other questions.
Well, Uber works really well in Joburg. So if you do get your app up and running, Uber's awesome in Joburg.
Very safe. I even use it for my daughter. She uses it all the time, and very reliable, safe. You get Uber X and Uber Black. I would suggest using Uber Black. A little bit more reliable in my personal experience. But either way, it's pretty cool.
I love that. So no taxis, get Uber. That's our tagline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, if you've got, say, 48 hours or so to explore the area near Joburg or near the resort, what would you guys recommend?
Oh, there's some lovely places. If you want to know a little bit of the history of Johannesburg, I would say either going to a half-day tour to Soweto, which you can easily do. It's about $750 a person, and there's some really nice.
Rand, that is. So you need to look.
Rand, yes.
Yeah, because when an Aussie or an American hears that, they're like, "What? $750?" Now you need to look up the exchange rate. I'll look that up while we're talking at the moment, because it's incredibly. South Africa is incredibly cheap. for
Yes.
even for an Aussie to go.
And there's, you know, the Apartheid Museum, if that's something that you're interested in. You can visit Pretoria. There's tours going to there. You can visit the Cradle of Humankind, and you can go into a cave and see how the cave and the stalactites and stalagmites have been created over time there. There's some lovely places that you can visit just for half a day, if that's something that would be fun for you.
Okay, so one of the things that you mentioned, I used to, when I lived in London, I lived with 21 people in a 3-bedroom house. With one bedroom, one bathroom. I'm not sure how I did it, but I did it. And Soweto was one of the things I heard a lot of the stories about. So when you say Soweto, I go, seriously, you can go there? I never thought. It's as big as Black Township, is that correct?
That is correct,
Yeah.
and I would say a couple of years ago, over 10 years ago, I wouldn't have gone to Soweto on my own, but now there's actually guided tours, and it's a place to see. It's really, if you want to see the cultural part of South Africa and how that part has grown, that's the place to go and have a look.
Yeah, I mean, definitely wouldn't have gone there. I mean, it was over 25 years ago when I was there, and the stories I heard, you wouldn't have gone there. So that sounds really interesting. I think I'd love to do that. Just to give you guys a little hint, 750 Rand at the moment, today's rate, is 45 euro, is about 70 Australian dollars, and 50 US dollars, 33 pounds. So just to give you a bit of a hint. Krona, 425 krona, that's nothing. So go to Soweto for half a day. So, and can I tell you, we were talking to Brandon the other day, and he goes, honey, if we're going to stay in Joburg, can we go to that restaurant, like what's that restaurant called, the one I went to with both of you, Samantha and Graham?
Oh, the
Butcher Block.
Butcher Block,
Yes.
yeah.
He wants to go there.
Awesome.
One of the
Yeah.
best wines you can get is the Pinotage. I have no idea if this is a good one or not, but I wanted to buy some yesterday. You can only get 3 different types in Australia. The wineries in South Africa are incredible, which I think Graham and Samantha, both of you have some information about wineries. If people want to go, say, to Cape Town after they've been to the resort or before the resort, you want to talk a little bit about that or where they could go?
Greg, do you want to
Yeah,
go?
yeah, sure. Look, Cape Town there's a lot more to do in Cape Town. If you do have a bit of more of extended time, I definitely recommend getting to Cape Town rather than hanging around in Joburg. I mean, there's Stellenbosch, which is just a really cool, vibey place, and then there's Franschhoek as well. And between those two, I mean, you've most probably got about 50 different wine farms, and literally some of them have been rated the best in the world. So there's no shortage of things to do there, and no shortage of wine to drink.
Definitely. And you can go, I know we were chatting earlier on Skype, and you can go shark cage diving, you can go...
No, hang on a
have
second. I need
additional-
to start cage diving because I was looking it up the other day. Now, we're not just talking small sharks, we're talking great whites. Now, great whites are the largest shark in the world. Australia has them, but South Africa has them plentiful because there's lots of seals around there, and seals are great white food and the waters are cold. So I think I might do that, but I was looking at it. It looks really full on. Talk about an adventure. Talk about being present. I mean, the name of this thing is, you know, feed your awareness or feed the lions. It's like feed your awareness or feed the sharks. But hey, how much fun, the adventure of living. I can sure your heart would be like...
Just for interest's sake, a full day tour to the Cape Wineland, we're looking at about 965 Rand.
Okay.
So if you work that out, that's just
So where would you do that from? What city?
from Cape Town, from Cape Town
Town.
Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we're actually, Brendan and I are flying to Cape Town afterwards, and it's not an expensive route to fly, and it's really quick. So it's we're going back to Joburg and flying Cape Town, Joburg return, and it's a short trip, and it's definitely not expensive. I was actually quite surprised how cheap it is to fly domestically in South Africa. So 965 Rand, 60 euro, 90 Australian dollars, 63 US. That's for a full day tour and fantastic winery.
Yes.
Yeah, your local flights as well. There's flymango.co.za and kalula.com, and
Very
both
cheap.
of those, yeah, you can get to like return most probably under $150 US, and it's
Nice.
a 2-hour flight from Joburg. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's quick and easy. And I mean, I booked British Airways because I knew they could hold our luggage. It's been one world, man.
I just
So-
found, return flights to Cape Town for 139 Australian. So what's that, like $100 US?
Oh, it's like $10 US at the moment. No.
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly, nothing. So, Katie Mack, let's bring you in right now. And so Katie is a travel agent, and she does lots and lots of access. She's been to many, many classes, and I have heard fantastic reports. One of my favorite reports about someone using Katie is everything was so organized. I even got out, and there was my car, and they had a bottle of water in there for me and some mints. It was like, you know, so organized. So if you find booking travel hard, or it's like, or you just want some more ideas, and it's like, Katie is someone that you can go to. So, Katie, do you have any, you know, handy tips, or let's give your contact details out too?
Yeah, totally. So my contact is katie@geniusgetaways.com.au. I'll send it out maybe in the question answers or something like that. And I have a Facebook page and all that good stuff. So I'll be posting lots and lots probably in the South Africa group for Facebook. You can get some really, I almost fell off my chair when I saw the price to get to South Africa. It's really not a lot from anywhere in the world. So, for example, if you're coming from Europe, and forgive my pronunciation here, it's about 1,100 Aussie dollars from Stockholm. So that's about 6,700 Swedish kronas. And that's with a flight through the Middle East. So it's a quick stop in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and then you're on the next flight to South Africa. So easy peasy. Hong Kong, you can get there for about 8,000 Hong Kong dollars, and that's with Singapore Airlines, so full service, super comfortable. And it's actually cheaper for our friends in the United States to get there than Australia.
Really? That's
Seriously?
so funny. Australia is so funny. I mean, it's literally, well, Australians don't think of it as that far because it's like a 12-hour flight, 9-10 hours, and it's direct from Sydney. So we just go, so used to flying so far, but I know a lot of Americans aren't. So tell us, what have Americans got in for them?
So it's there's a direct flight from Atlanta to Johannesburg. If you're going there from Los Angeles, for example, so LA, Atlanta, Johannesburg, about $970, and that's with Delta Airlines. So full service, you get everything included. Yeah, and it's just a straight 15-hour flight, which everyone's probably freaking out, but like you said, for Australia, that's our minimum to get anywhere in the world.
Look, I sometimes prefer a really longer flight than a shorter one because I'm just ready to go to sleep. Brendan and I are about to fly from Sydney to Dallas for the Conscious Horse, Conscious Rider, and I'm like, it's 16 hours, it's great. You get to watch a couple of movies, you get to have some wines, you get to sleep, you get to work, you get to do it all in 16 hours. So how does it get any better?
You get to push a button and someone brings you alcohol. Like, that's pretty much. Why wouldn't you want to be in a plane for 15 hours?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So now, Katie,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, with the business class option too, I get a sense that there might be some really good deals coming up. So if you do feel like you want to have a little bit of a treat, it's probably worth asking the question as well about business class. Can't tell you exactly what the prices are right now, but I think that there'll be some good deals come out just after Christmas.
So back to how to get in contact with Katie too. Katie, please keep putting your details in the Facebook event. If you're watching this at a later time, we will be sending this out to everybody who's invited to South Africa. With the link to the Facebook. So go to that Facebook page because we'll be putting a lot of details up there and photos, etc. So it's Katie, which is Katie at geniusgetaways.com.au. Don't forget the AU. So it's Genius, GENIUS Getaways, GETAWAYS.com.au. Okay, but even just go find her on Facebook and send her a message. So even if you want to sort of put your interest down and say, hey, I'm interested in traveling business class, and why not? What if this was the first time you flew business class? It's like not very long ago, Jonas was looking up business class tickets for somewhere, and because Brendan books all of Gary and Dane's, and he said, why don't you check out first class? He said, I'm sure it's not that much more expensive, you know, have a look. And so he just flew first class from Europe to Australia recently because it was like an extra $150 from business class in Emirates on a A380. You get a shower in there. How does it get any better than that? So we've got a couple of questions here too, and I'm wondering, Graham, because you're on video, do you have any of your beautiful South African currency on you? Because I thought that the euros were beautiful, 500 euro notes, one of my favorites. Canada has beautiful money, Australia, New Zealand, but I think I fell in love with South African rand. It's so colorful. So you definitely have to
I can get it quickly.
Okay, quick, run, get it. I'll talk about it. So you definitely have to, the idea is when you go to the resort, everything, as usual on a 7-day event, your room, say you're in room 14B, everything that you get in, like if you have drinks or anything like that, your food, your accommodation is included, but if you want to buy some beautiful Pinotage wine or you want to buy a Coke, etc., you need to put it on your room. If you're coming early or staying late, that will also go directly onto your room. You will not pay that to us. That'll go directly onto your room. So you just sign. So at the end, you can pay by credit card. So if you're literally just going to and from, then you don't need much local currency. We do ask for tips at the end of the week. Usually it's about 100 to 150 US dollars. I usually give about 100 US dollars, and then I walk around and give everyone that I just absolutely adored and looked after me extra tips. So, and you need tips for the maids in the room. So that would be preferable to have South African rand. So before if you're at the airport, go, change a few $100s, etc. But if you are going to travel around South Africa, they do not take US dollars. They do not take any other currency except for South African rand and, of course, your credit card. So, but it's beautiful. Why wouldn't you want to get some? So, Graham, do you have some there?
Yeah. So that's most probably 50 cents US. No, I'm joking.
That's what it feels like sometimes. And that was Nelson Mandela, everyone. And what is that animal?
And then that one, that's a buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
And that's a, let me see if I can get that better, a lion. So that's 50 rand. So you'll have from 10 rand to 200 rand in notes, and then so
50 rand is about $3.30 US, $4.60 Australian, €3. So, but it's beautiful. So change the money. Now you can do that when you arrive at the airport. I mean, like I arrive on Emirates, so they have the cars that take you to the hotel, etc. So, which was over to the right when I arrived. But there's currency exchanges that you can do there. So just take a moment and check that you actually do have everything you require to enter into South Africa, okay? But I would recommend doing it at the airport, doing it in your country before you get there, just to make your life easier. So, I'm going to give a travel tip for if you haven't yet ordered a massage table, I would highly recommend ordering a massage table. They're going to be equivalent to 130 US dollars. You get your table, you get sheets on it, etc. And it's so nice to get body work and bars done the whole week, and even just lie on there if you just want to lie on there. So get your massage table. So we've got some other questions here too. Now there's a few people asking about visas. It's one of the things I don't like to comment on that much because things change with each country a lot, and we are obviously not working in a visa office, thank God. I work with Access Consciousness and not in a visa office. So check it out locally of what you require if you do require it. If you Google it and go onto like your, I don't know, if you're from Denmark and it's like Danish and it's like, do Danish people require a visa for South Africa? You'll get information and it will come up. So please look at that. But one thing I do advise is look at your passport and when is it valid until, because we've had quite a few people coming to Costa Rica that it wasn't valid for at least a year. And in Costa Rica, they like it to be valid for a year. So check your passport, check if you need a visa. One of the things I will say, Legends, where we're going, is a malaria-free zone. So, which is very funny because they tell you that all the time, and they're like, very proud that it's a malaria-free zone. So, people are asking if you need to get vaccinated, etc. Is that Graham, Samantha? What would you do? I didn't. But...
I
would
wouldn't
personally
say you
pack
need to
some.
get vaccinated.
You only do your, but pack some. What we use here in South Africa is like Peaceful Sleep or some kind of a mosquito repellent. But I
You need
wouldn't
that
say
in
that.
Australia and Costa
Yeah.
Rica as well. So I don't think South Africa is like it used to be. So it's like, again, ask your body, and it's like, you know, ask what it is that it's asking for. But I never got vaccinated, and I don't know. I think with our body processes, etc., change anything.
If you drink too much red wine, you can get tick bite fever in the morning.
Aha. You have been warned here by Graham Crossfield. What about the water? Can you drink the water?
Yes, you can drink the water in
Yes.
Joburg.
Yeah, the
Yes, you
water's
can
fine.
from the tap. It's good.
Awesome. Yeah, and you can drink the water at Legends as well. And there's got a little shop at Legends that you can buy, you know, a few, like if you've forgotten your toothpaste or toothbrush or deodorant or something like that, or you want to buy bottled water, you can get that there too. But it's, I found, and I'm a water snob, and I found the water to be great. So, what else have we got
The
here?
food's really, really good.
That's-
you know, the restaurants in Cape Town and Joburg, even Durban, the food is really excellent.
The food is incredible. Now, Samantha, you're a vegetarian. Do you want to speak on behalf of the vegetarians of the world?
Yes. In fact, I'm in Cape Town on holiday at the moment, and we went to 3 different restaurants today, and the variety and the different type of food that I had to eat was amazing. So,
So there's something for everyone. Even though, I will say, this is a story that I had. Pete, one of the managers at Legends Resort, we were having a braai, which is a barbecue, and we're having a braai, and he was telling me about how, you know, they have all these different meats, and he said most people don't even go for the salads, and I was thinking, no, I like to have salad with my meat. And you know what I ate that night? About 5 different types of meat, and that was it. And it was wonderful. It was so good. The food in South Africa is amazing. So, and there will be, if you're listening to this, Samantha's coming. We know that a lot of you guys have different food requirements. You'll let us know way before the time, and they can organize anything for us. The meals are all buffet style, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you have snacks in between. I'm telling you, if you haven't been to a 7-day event, it's not a lack of, you won't be hungry, that's for sure. There's always so much food, especially for humanoids. So,
So have Legends taken... Have they taken off the hunting your own food option?
I don't know, Graham. I'll find out for you about that. Oh, my goodness. You know what? You think you only want to go on one safari? You want to go on a safari nearly every morning, because every time you go out, it's something completely different. But we're going to talk about that on my Sunday night, so we'll send you a little link to the details for that with Jonas, and we're going to show you some photos of the actual resort, the animals, the close-ups we had with lions, and I'm not kidding. The close-ups we had with lions, I had one lion staring at me directly, and Jonas is going, holy shit. And it's like, it's for someone who's never seen a lion before. It's quite intense. It was awesome. So Graham and Samantha, what other hints do you want to give people coming to South Africa besides they're going to have so much fun?
I would just like to say, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Other than Samantha.
Other than... Don't be afraid, really.
Yeah, and if you don't look, there's, you know, people are really, really helpful here. If you connect with any of the locals, they will really give you any guidance that you need on where to go and how to get there. If you are going to do some exploring, really do get more information before you just kind of wing it. It's not really the best place to wing stuff. And yeah, I would recommend if you come a few days before or after, try the Drakensberg Mountains. So that's towards KwaZulu-Natal, and then also there's some really cool luxury, like 5-star luxury resorts and stuff, safari resorts as well. If you want to carry that on in KwaZulu-Natal as well, so towards the East Coast.
So Graham, will you do us a favour and will you put that up on the Facebook? Because when you say it and you're saying it's near this place, it just means it's words to me. It sounds wonderful. But can you put it up on our Facebook?
I'll go and put all the... Yeah, awesome. I'll go do that now, yeah.
Anything that you guys come up with. Yeah, and again, if you guys want those travel help, contact Katie Mack. Her details are up on the Facebook page. We've given them to you today. Have fun. Like, come to the 7-day event. 7-day events are absolutely amazing. We do have lots of translated languages coming. So obviously, if you listen to this and you don't speak English, then I just sound like gobbledygook. But Leeson will be in contact with you if you've got a language that needs to be translated. This can literally be the biggest 7-day event we've ever had. We can have 320 adults plus kids easily. The kids, there's so much stuff to do for them. They have this great little, like, while we're in class, they have a little safari for them that is inside the gates, but then they get to see the impala, the zebras, like the animals that are not going to eat you or attack you. So lots of fun. Anything else you guys want to add before we head off? We're good?
Yeah.
I guess from a travel perspective, if I can just add one other thing.
Sure.
Yeah, it really doesn't have to be hard. If you organise a transfer from your house to the airport and then get picked up in Johannesburg, straight to your hotel, and then have your transfer ready the next day or the day after the Legends, it's really just total ease. So, and probably a lot less than what you'd expect. Yeah, that would be my advice. Make it easy for them.
Travel agent extraordinaire. I love that. So, yes. And if you do wish to stay at the resort, come a couple of days earlier or stay later. They do have availability. They've got about 100 rooms that are available, but you need to let us know. Contact 7day sa@accessconsciousness.com, and we have a whole team of people working on it. So answering the questions with whatever it's concerned with. So the email is 7day sa@accessconsciousness.com. So thank you, Katie, for coming on, and thank you, Graham and Samantha, for coming on and giving us your South African viewpoint here. Oh, and South Africans do speak English, and there's also Afrikaans, which they speak. There was a question there about the languages. So, so South Africa. So this is what I know of. It's like the South Africans are English descent and Afrikaans are Dutch descent. Is that correct?
Correct.
Cool.
Yes.
Anything you want to? It's just been over the years, everyone's intermingled. Joburg is mainly Afrikaans, right? Cape Town is more South Africans.
English will get you everywhere in South Africa. It's fine.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might find driving closer to Legends, the shops around there, if you happen to stop by, they would probably speak Afrikaans more so than closer to Joburg.
Do you guys speak Afrikaans?
I do.
You want to say something to everybody?
Let me think of something fun to say.
Please come visit us in South Africa and come to the awesome 7-day event.
Kom Suid-Afrika toe en kom saam met ons op safari. I can't think of the safari word in Afrikaans.
There you go. So maybe you can learn some Afrikaans before you get there. So once again, I'm really grateful for you guys coming on, and we will send this out to everybody with a link to the one Jonas and I will be doing actually about Legends Resort. So thank you so much. Lauren, thank you for being behind the scenes, being the little dandelion there in Access Consciousness and running the whole show for us. You're awesome. And remember, everyone,
I just want to say,
yes?
you guys don't want to miss this opportunity to get to South Africa, really. It is one of the most coolest experiences you can have. It's flipping awesome here.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Really, make an effort. It's really worthwhile.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Graham. All right. All right, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.